Hello everybody, me again. Just a few things have happened since I last posted a message, so I thought I'd make another video and let you all know, because it's pretty much related to the stuff I spoke about in my last video. So since then, the most obvious change is I've garnered a liking for cigars. The one I had in my last video that I couldn't finish was a really cheap and nasty one. So one of my friends saw the video and said, yeah, the reason why that was disgusting is because it was cheap. I'll send you some decent ones. And I kind of got a taste for them. So this is a Luis Martinez Silver Selection, handmade according to the band. Not quite sure where this comes from, but he's not a Cuban. I know that for sure. Anyway, you just get this lit up and I'll start. One of these things I got for Christmas is a lighter from the 1950s, made by a company called Olympic, at least according to the logo on it. They've got a humidor and everything to stop them drying out, keeping them moist. It all depends on the cigar as to if you like it or not. I mean, I've had some pretty nasty ones since my birthday, and I've also had some pretty damn nice ones. So, yeah. Let's hope this is a good one. Anyway, just open the window. I hope that's not too loud. We've got a motorway just the other side of the hedge here. But anyway, as I said in my last video, there was a possibility some psychologists and stuff had identified Asperger's syndrome traits in me, and I was having trouble getting a diagnosis. So a few months ago, sometime in November or October, I think it was November, I go to the doctor's because I've got some stuff I wanted to discuss with her, and she said to me, a few days ago we got a memo saying that there was a new autism support, diagnosis and support scheme being set up by the Oxford Mental Health Trust, and she believed that I qualified for it, unlike the previous schemes that I didn't. So she said, do you want me to put you forward for it? I said, of course I do, so please go and do that. About a week later, I got in the post, a letter saying, you've been referred by your doctor. Here's some questionnaires for you to fill out. There was one for me and one for my parents. So, I sat down and went through that lot. And my parents did the other one as well and sent them off. The stamped addressed envelope included, and a little while later I hear back and they say, yes, I did qualify for an assessment, could you please come down with one of your parents? So my dad books a day off work, we go up to the centre and sit down and have a chat to these three psychologists. two of whom were going to be going in with me to, have a chat, and I would be doing some various tasks. And the other one was going to be sitting with my dad doing a more in-depth sort of questionnaire, and any memories or anecdotes he had of me growing up that might help secure a diagnosis. So we were there for maybe two and a bit hours, perhaps. Some of the tasks that I did were downright weird, but I understood why they were necessary. It helps to build an idea of the way my mind works, how I respond to situations and stimuli, and how, when presented with a situation or presented with a task, I go about doing that. And so we did that, and they said that it was all fine. Thank you for coming in, we'll let you know. They said that they would let me know within a week, but they didn't. Almost a month went by and I hadn't heard anything, so I had to ring them up to chase them up. Apparently, an email went out the week that I called them to the psychologist's secretary, saying that they wanted me to come in the next week to see them. I think it was just bullshit. They were just trying to cover their asses. But anyway, I go down there. We have a chat about the assessment and the results of it and everything. And they said, as a result of this assessment, we have determined that you quite clearly have autism spectrum disorder. Now, I hadn't heard that specifically applied to an individual condition. I heard it used as an umbrella term for things like Asperger's and other stuff on the autistic spectrum. But as was explained to me, at least in the United Kingdom, Asperger's syndrome is no longer given as a diagnosis. They just say autistic spectrum disorder. And that just covers everything that previously had individual names, which I kind of understand. I mean, what's the point of having a name for something that's just a degree of another syndrome? So, yeah. So, finally got my diagnosis. Took for bloody ever to get it. And now I've got it. There is a sense of relief. It's not that I'm glad I've got this. It's a case of, well, that explains it. It explains all of the almost all of the problems I've had throughout my life, and it's means that I'm not just weird, and that I can now don't have to necessarily blame myself when things go wrong, because I really just cannot help it. But then again, it's also, not something that I didn't expect. Put a timer on this. I guess I'm gonna have to restart this in a moment. But yeah, it's confirming what we already thought. So it's not really one of those earth-shattering discoveries, because I've kind of been aware of it for a while now and all of that. But it's still nice to have a bit of paper that says, yes, this is the case, and there is an explanation for why I am the way I am. So yeah, I'm happy about getting the diagnosis. Just wait for this. yeah, I am happy to get to now that I've got the diagnosis, and one of the things that's going to be happening at some point is that I will be referred to someone at the local council who deals with the the mental health support and benefits and so on, and I will be assessed. It's called the Fair Access to Care Assessment, and it will be, they'll work out what sort of support I qualify for. Hopefully it will be something tangible rather than just them saying, we're here if you need to talk. I mean, I'm not expecting it's going to be a case of you don't have to work anymore, we'll put you on disability living allowance. That would be nice, but I'm not expecting that to happen. I mean, my cousin is on disability living allowance because she's got several anxiety disorders, among other things, and I'm not as bad as her in terms, I can go outside and I don't feel like I'm going to have a panic attack or anything. But in order for me to succeed in a working environment, I will have to have a very specific set of circumstances, the right people, the right environment, the right kind of work. And it would just take me so damn long to find that. I could still be here in 15 years trying to find that job, So, we'll find out what happens after I've got my facts assessment. I was thinking last night, because I decided that I wanted to do this video a few days ago. Last night I was lying in bed unable to sleep, as I quite often am. I don't think I do life very well. I mean, there's obviously the issues that I've got, with forming relationships and stuff. I can't hold down the job. I can't do normal waking hours. For me, a normal day kind of starts at the earliest lunchtime, usually more, sometime after 1:30, 2 p.m. And I'm still lying awake in bed at 3:30 in the morning, 4 a.m. I mean, today I didn't get to sleep until, last night, whatever, I didn't get to sleep until after 7 a.m. which sucks because I had an appointment to go to today. But thankfully I didn't miss it or anything. So I was able to do all the stuff that I needed to do in plenty of time. But yeah. I don't think I do life very well. Now, I'm pretty sure that a lot of it is related to the Asperger's/autism spectrum disorder. But I also do think some of it is to do with the whole depression thing, because I used to be alright in the mornings. It's gotten a lot worse since I left school. School provided me with a sort of a permanent routine, in that I'd have to be up before 8 a.m. every day, and of course when you were younger your parents set you a mandated bedtime that's pretty early, and all of that, so you do tend, but even then I used to lie awake for hours unable to sleep, and I very rarely, very, 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 very rarely have I ever woken up and felt well rested, like I've got a good night's sleep. It's more like I wake up, no matter what time I wake up, whether I wake up at 8 a.m, 10 a.m, 12 o'clock, 1 p.m, 2 p.m, 3 p.m, whatever. No matter how much sleep I've gotten, I will always wake up and I will feel like crap, and I'll just want to go back to sleep. I'm not a morning person. I'm a night owl. So, I mean, it could be, it could be that I'm a night owl, or it could be, depression related, because I know one of the classic symptoms of clinical depression is not wanting to get up in the morning. I mean, really bad. I mean, I used to get annoyed with myself if I wasn't up before 10 a.m, and I would, when I would get up, I would look at the clock and debate whether or not I was going to have breakfast or not, or if it was too late and I would just wait until lunch. Now, sometimes I have to debate whether or not I'm going to have lunch or skip it and just wait for dinner. That's how bad it's gotten. It's been a very, very long time since I've regularly had lunch. So I regularly had breakfast, I mean. But also another one of the symptoms of depression is skipping meals, and to be honest, for the most part, I don't really care about having lunch. Oh well. I mean, we sort of have we have a mandated dinner time, because one of my parents will make it, and we'll sit down and have a meal, and that can be anything from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Depending on what's going on. But left to my own devices, I will eat pretty late. I mean, the other day, on Saturday, my parents were away going to a football match somewhere. I can't remember where it was, and I didn't end up having dinner until 8:30. Because I just wasn't hungry. I had a late lunch as it is, but still. So, yeah. When I went and saw the doctor about my depression, she just said, if you're not, thinking about killing yourself or slitting, or cutting yourself all the time, then it's not serious enough. Which again is that magic phrase for NHS doctors: not serious enough. That means they can just wash their hands of you. The NHS is a wonderful thing, free healthcare and all of that. I watch House, which, for those of you who don't know, is about a doctor in America who's head of a diagnostics department, and he gets people who have weird, mishmash of symptoms, and he has to work out what they've got. And looking at the prices for stuff that they're talking about there, and I've seen breakdowns of things on itemized bills that people have posted on Tumblr, complaining about how ridiculous it is, and just for spending a few days in a hospital room, they'll charge you 10 grand, and it's like, hotels cost less than that. I don't think you could find a hotel that cost you 10 grand for a few days, So, on that aspect, I'm really, really glad we've got the National Health Service and everything's free at, the point of care and all of that. But on the other hand, you have to deal with what you're given, and if you don't qualify for care, because something's not serious enough, or you can muddle through with it and everything, then you don't get anything. Whereas in America, because you pay for it, you get whatever you want. It's kind of ridiculous, but it is understandable. But I do think, I genuinely think that I've got depression, and and I did have, I do have Asperger/autistic spectrum disorder, but they didn't think I was serious enough to warrant a diagnosis. So I've actually got autistic spectrum disorder, and they didn't think I was serious enough for the to get their help. So I could very well be depressed, but because they don't have enough resources to support someone who might be depressed, rather than someone who definitely is because they're cutting themselves and contemplating suicide all the time, I won't get any support for it. Excuse me. It's understandable, but still doesn't make me feel any better about it. It's like, yeah, I get why you're not helping me, but I still need help. But at least I've got the diagnosis for the autism spectrum disorder. That is going to be a big help in future. Or at least I hope it will be. I don't want it to end up being a waste of time. I mean, at the end of the day, getting the diagnosis doesn't make me any different. It doesn't necessarily make me feel any different because, like I said, it was something that, we pretty much already knew anyway. It's just a little bit of weight off your mind. Thinking, yes, you definitely have it, and no, you're not just weird. And the possibility of getting support for it rather than just informal stuff, it's definitely a plus. So I waffle, I ramble, sorry. Other things going on in my life. Pretty boring Christmas, but then again, it kind of loses its lustre once you get into adulthood. Until you get kids, and you don't really feel excited about it. I know Americans are big on New Year celebrations, but I'm not sure if it's just our family or if it's Britain in general. But we're not that big on it. I mean, normally New Year's Eve / New Year's Day makes me, gets me down because oh look, another year's gone by when nothing's changed. But this year I didn't feel down about it. Maybe because I had other things to take my mind off it, or maybe getting the diagnosis is something good that's happened last year. But for the most part, the rest of the year was pretty meh. A few nasty things happened. Lost some friends, etc., etc. But 2014 wasn't a great year. I'm hoping 2015 is going to be better, but I know better than to get my hopes up. I wonder what things are going to happen this year. I mean, 2014 was full of depressing stuff. Robin Williams died. The day before my birthday. What a great birthday present! One of my favourite actors dies. Now there was a man with depression. There's definitely something that I think about Robin Williams. He was really, really depressed. He probably hated his life at times, but and he knew how that felt, and he didn't want other people to feel that way. So he made them laugh, he made them smile, he made them happy, and I think that's a good legacy for him. not many people can say that they make the whole world smile. I hope we don't lose anyone else this year. Ugh. Cigar's alright. Have I better? It's hard to think of things to talk about when really nothing in your life has changed since the last time. Yeah. Nothing special has happened lately. Not expecting anything special to happen. I want to talk more, but I can't think of anything to say. It's kind of terrible, really. But yeah, I guess the diagnosis was all I really wanted to talk about in the first place. There's only so much you can say about that. Yeah. No. Yeah. And I've still got a fair amount of my cigar to smoke. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas and enjoyed your New Year celebrations if you had any. If you didn't, welcome to the club. Yeah, I suppose we may as well just end it here. Well, in the spirit of the time of year it is, I wish you all a very happy 2015. I hope you get the things you want this year and nothing bad happens to you. And I hope the same for myself too. Though I'm not getting my hopes up. Yeah. This is Chris, signing off.